Enigma, guys. I'm just here to do a preview for the Manchester United versus Burnley game, Saturday, 8 p.m. But before we get on to everything, I just wanted to start by just saying to you guys, love for all the support on the Champions League, both the match reaction and also for the buy-in, the actual the game itself, the watch-along. Gained a lot of subscribers, and I'm looking forward to the journey throughout the season with the rest of you guys and the growth of the channel. First things first, just want to have a look at my predicted lineup on the right hand side here. This is what I expect Ten Hag to go with. This is what I'm hoping he'll go with. So it's going to be a 4-3-3. I believe that Mount will actually be quickly reintroduced back into the starting lineup, and the reason for that is just because, for starters, this is his big money signing. You know, he spent about 50 million on Mount, so why would you not quickly reintroduce him into the side? He already showed that during preseason, Mount was his preferential player over Eriksen in terms of who he thought was obviously his key player to start the games. And also, if we're actually just being quite frank about it, call a spade, Eriksen was not very good in the Bayern game. He hasn't been very good, and as much as people were typically saying that, well, you know, Eriksen probably will come into his own when we play against the smaller teams, and Eriksen would be a good player to start against the likes of a Burnley, these lower side level teams. I would actually say at the moment, the way he's currently playing, even against a Burnley, who as much as they're not very good, they do play good football at the end of the day under company. I believe Eriksen could still be exploited at times, even against the likes of a Burnley. And also on the ball, it's not like he's been so amazing that he's been making up for the deficiencies off the ball. So for me personally, I believe Mount starts this game because he will have the fitness necessary to start this game. We're playing the EFL Cup on Tuesday, so that's when Mount can get a rest, for example. And next weekend again, we play against Palace. So I believe Mount can just get a rest for the week and then play the 2 Premier League fixtures and skip out on the EFL Cup. That's what I think should happen, and then Eriksen can play in the Cup. So going through the starting lineup, I'm going Onana in goal, Diogo Dalot on the right, Varane straight back into the lineup. And people may be considering, but wait, why are you trying to put Varane straight back into starting 11 when Burnley aren't a very good side and we all know about Varane's injury troubles? But my response to that is very simple. Like I said before, in the Mount situation, we have a week's break between 2 big games in the Premier League. One against Burnley this week, the next week against Crystal Palace. That gives Varane the opportunity to get minutes in his legs here, a week off, rest up, get fit and ready and prepared for the next week's game against Crystal Palace. Then Lindelof and Maguire or whoever wants to play in the EFL Cup, I don't really care. They can play on Tuesday. But Varane can play this game, get minutes in his legs, get more minutes in his legs against Palace, and he's fit, ready and raring to go for the Galatasaray game. And that's what's most important at the end of the day. Martinez on the left. Hopefully now we've got our main partnership back along with Casemiro just ahead of them. We've got that holy trinity that saved us so much last season. Hopefully we have that back in this Burnley game so we can really get some momentum going by winning this game. Reguilon on the left, been actually quite good for us, to be honest. I'm very happy with the inclusion of Reguilon, so it's good to see him. And I actually want to see him now against a smaller team. So I want to see what he's able to do against a team where he can really show his attacking output and attacking ability. We already spoke about Mount. Casemiro got 2 goals against Bayern Munich, but I'm still looking for a big overall performance from Casemiro. I know this is a good kind of game to reintroduce the likes of Varane, to introduce Mount, but also allow Pellistri, who we'll get onto, a chance to play against a smaller team. Almost what you call the Premier League whipping boys. Burnley, as much as I like company, I wish he does well and I hope they give him time. Burnley at the moment are the Premier League whipping boys, and they can only expect to lose by several goals most games. So this is a good opportunity for Man United to actually use them, sad to say, but almost as a punching bag, to really get going and also give minutes to the players that need minutes without having to worry too much about how match ready they are, because we're playing a lesser team at the end of the day. So perfect. Bruno, captain, he's always going to start. Looking for much, much better performance than against Bayern Munich. Need him to impose himself in this game. Really start developing a partnership with Højlund. That's what I'm looking for. Pellistri. If Pellistri is dropped in this game, for me personally, there are big problems. There is no way in hell Pellistri should be getting dropped in this game after Bayern Munich. And this is not me saying that he was great. Pellistri was actually quite average versus Bayern. Pellistri was average. But you do not entrust a player playing against Bayern, and just because they drop a performance that maybe wasn't to the heights that you were hoping, you immediately take him out of the starting lineup. You either stick with him and give him this game, and maybe even give him next week's game if Sancho and Antony aren't back. You give him a couple of chances. If he's not up to snuff, you take him out, you put Garnacho in. You do not sub him. I believe Pellistri should be starting this game again. Højlund explains for itself. Martial came on and actually had a very good cameo, so it'd be nice to see a little bit of competition potentially. If we're going to get a semi-fit Martial this season, it'd be decent. Martial came on, had a very good cameo, was actually instrumental and influential in the couple of goals we ended up scoring versus Bayern. So, bit of competition there, but of course, at the moment, Højlund's our number one guy. Rashford, always going to keep his position. That's Ten Hag's best friend at the moment, so he's never gonna lose out on a starting position. And quite frankly, since no one else puts up numbers, maybe he does deserve his starting position. So of course, that's my predicted lineup for United. Whether or not we end up seeing this is another story. So now, just having a quick look at Burnley's lineup. This is how I predict Burnley to line up. I've actually gone for Jay Rodriguez because in their most recent fixture, Burnley actually had a red card to their starting striker. The starting striker, I believe his name is Forrester, the South African. He got a red card during the game for a dumb elbow. I don't know what I was thinking, but he got a red card. So now I've got Jay Rodriguez. I'm actually more concerned about the Rodriguez introduction as opposed to the Forrester. As much as Forrester was starting, Rodriguez in the past is someone that has at times broke Man United's heart. I'm sure you guys remember, I believe it was the goal for Burnley that he scored versus when he absolutely smashed it past the hair. This is a player that, since at this very moment, Man United cannot catch a break, I do not want any sort of, how do you call it? I don't want any black magic, any judge. I don't want no judge. This is a guy that's packed Man United before. I don't want him anywhere near this match, but sadly, because of the injury, I think he'll be here. And since at the moment, every time it rains in Manchester, it pours, I can only see him stepping into this game. He can be trash all season, but he'll score versus United. I'm just terrified of that possibility, and I can see it. So, of course, they normally set up with either 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2. Against Man City, I do believe they did set up in a 4-4-2. They set up in a 4-4-2 against, no, a 4-2-3-1. So I predict that they'll actually do the same thing. If that's how they set up against Man City, I assume they're going to give us a certain level of respect as well. So they will set up similarly to that. So this is my predicted lineup for Man City. Of course, they do have Trafford. I forgot to change the name there, but they do have James Trafford in goal. Obviously a Man City ex-player, very good at playing out from the back, but he's not exactly the best as a shot stopper. If we actually just open up Burnley's statistics currently and sort of how they play, this is actually who scored. For anyone wondering, this stats and information, it comes from whoscored.com. They're actually really good. So if you guys want to check out any stat merchants, use them. They're very good. So in terms of the strengths of Burnley, it'll be creating opportunities to take long shots, and also chances from through balls. The whole aspect with the long shots is not something I'm really worried about. It's the through balls issue. Burnley are a team that they'd like to attack, as you see there, preferentially from the left-hand side. Of course, our right-hand side. They like to attack that side, and they also like to play through balls. Man United have shown themselves to be susceptible to balls in behind, especially when Lindelof is playing. Hence, my want for adding Varane straight back into starting lineup. And the ever-present issue of cutbacks. The ever present issue of cutbacks. Against Man City, they actually were able to create a lot of goal scoring opportunities within the 18-yard box. As much as they weren't able to convert anything, there's 6 shots on goal, but none of them really went anything. Man City dealt with it quite well. My issue is the fact that they were able to engineer situations to get into Man City's box to have attempts on goal. And we've seen over the past few games how susceptible Manchester United are to any form of wing play and trying to get balls into the box, cutbacks. As much as Burnley aren't very good, they have moved out of the Sean Dyche era and they're trying to play some decent football. And I can see maybe us getting a bit overconfident or getting hit on the break because we're pushing very high because we're not respecting Burnley. Just getting caught and then finished off with a little cutback. It's very easy. Highly susceptible to it. Teams don't even need to be amazing anymore to catch us with this cutback. But I need to obviously talk about now their weaknesses, where I think we're going to exploit them. Personally, my match prediction, I think we'll beat Burnley and we'll beat them well. I think I'm going for a 2-0 with goals from Højlund and goals from Rashford. 1 goal from Højlund, 1 goal from Rashford in this game, 2-0. They are weak in defending set pieces. Another reason why Varane has to be straight back in here. Varane, Casemiro alongside Højlund in the opposition box gives us some players to aim at that are a threat from set pieces. So we have to use all these avenues to exploit them, because as much as we scored 3 goals versus Bayern Munich, most of us United fans can all agree that we're still concerned about our actual ability to score goals at the moment. They're unable to protect their lead. Have a look. Jeffrey, let me just have a look here. Do you think Onana is going to leave in January? Bro, there's no way Onana is leaving in January. Absolutely no way. That's Ten Hag's guy. He was his manager back in the Ajax days. There's absolutely no chance of Onana leaving anytime soon. Absolutely no chance. But yeah, as I was saying, defending against through ball attacks is an apparent issue, another issue. And that was obviously highlighted by the goal that Haaland scored in the opening day of the season. And we can take a lot of, sort of guidance and take a lot from the Man City game versus Burnley. For the simple fact that, wow, they've got Haaland, and let's not make too much of a comparison, but Højlund is a similar profile. I'm not talking about ability or repute in the game, profiles-wise, yeah? Profile-wise, Højlund is similar to Haaland. They're weak in defending through ball attacks, and we've got 2 of the fastest forwards in the Premier League at the moment. So Rashford and Højlund, we need to make sure that we're exploiting the opportunities to get those 2 in behind. Create little transitions and get them in behind. So that's why, again, Mount will be key in this because of his ability to press from the front. If we're able to get the ball turned over within their final third, within the middle third, and just quickly move balls between the lines, we could absolutely destroy these guys, especially if they don't protect if they don't protect their back line and also make sure they're structured so that they don't leave gaps in behind. If they leave any sort of space in behind, they're finished. And that's what we need to look to exploit during this game. The thing I want to talk about also is, of course, the returning players to the lineup. Varane, he's the most important potential returning player. Varane here. As I mentioned before, both defensively, leadership ability, and obviously the main thing, another thing, which is his ability in the air. Dangerous from set pieces, and as we outlined, as you can see there for yourselves, their inability to defend their own set pieces. So it'd be great having him back. The next player I want to talk about who's returning, Mason Mount. Bro, you've had your time off. I don't want to see a return of Mickey Mount. I don't want to see any of this BS. I think Manchester City is too strong. Of course, yeah, bro. Man City are an amazing team. Umberstone. Man City are an amazing team. Of course, they're better than Man United at the moment. And even as a Man United fan, I'm more than happy, more than willing, more than ready to admit that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you than Manchester United or anywhere near Man City's level. But as Ten Hag said when he first came in, eras come to an end. And if you get the Qataris in, boy, could be a long day. Back onto Mount. Mason hasn't had a good start to life at Man United. The badge wears heavy. The badge at Manchester United wears heavy. And many a player has been destroyed by Man United's badge. And on top of that, you don't just put the badge in front. They've given him the 7 at the back as well. So he's literally double trouble. Double trouble. He has the badge and the 7. So this guy, he's already got a lot working against him. Also the fact that being a Chelsea player, coming from a rival team. Also the fact that there's a lot of fans, members of the fan base that did not want him, do not like the player. This is the match he needs to come in. We're actually in a decent sort of patch in terms of games we have upcoming for Manchester United. We've got the likes of Galatasaray at home, they're a good team, but they're not exactly a great team. They're okay. Yeah, they're more dangerous away, of course. At home, we should have them. We've got Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup coming up. Crystal Palace now. We've got Burnley on the weekend. We've also got, like I mentioned, the Galatasaray game, and I believe also we've got another pretty easy game. It may be Bournemouth after the Galatasaray game. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Mason Mount, this is an opportunity to cement his place in the starting lineup and get a run of games against weakened opposition, build up confidence, build up match fitness, and also show us why Ten Hag has put so much faith in you that he's literally decided to almost build this new system, and you're one of the central pieces to it. This sort of high press possession football with transition elements, it centers around players that are very good at pressing from the front, such as Mason Mount. So he was included for a reason, and I want to see that reason. Starts in this game, and I think he can be very important because at the very least, one thing that he'll provide us, which we haven't had, is legs in the midfield. Eriksen has been completely and utterly useless and a liability of recent. He needs to come off, get some time away, sort himself out. And Mason Mount, I think, will be key to winning this game. As much as a lot of fans don't rate him, there's something there. Sofyan Amrabat. This man here, I've put him as part of the injury boost, the returning players. However, I don't actually think he'll start the game. He, as of the most recent update, was still training on grass, but by himself. He's training on grass now, but he's training by himself, away from the team. Whether that's changed now is yet to see. Even if he joins training with the first team, let's say today or tomorrow, he still won't be fit enough to start the game. But I believe he may make the bench, which is good enough. He may get some minutes and then a full debut, for example, against Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup. We'll have to see when Ten Hag has his press conference tomorrow. We'll see and have an idea of whether Amrabat is fit. The next player in a very similar situation to Amrabat, but I believe maybe a bit further away from returning back to the squad, is Kobbie Mainoo. Don't want to get too gassed. Let's not put too much pressure on the guy. Let's not get too gassed, United fans. However, this is a player that showed so much promise during the preseason tour. He was the young player of the season for Manchester United in his year in the youth academy last year. This is a player that was amazing, absolutely amazing, even versus Arsenal. People are saying that he still has rice in his pocket. He shakes his pocket right now, grains of rice are falling out. He has a lot of potential. He was most definitely meant to be in this team to be the Casemiro replacement. This was said by Ten Hag himself. So that shows you the amount of faith. This is a manager that's literally outright come and said that he does not play players or give opportunities to youth players just because they're youth players. He only will bring them in if he sees them as having attributes that are as good or better than what he already has in the first team squad. So the fact that he's put so much faith in him and was starting him ahead of the likes of Eriksen and other more senior players in pre-season tells you all you need to know about Mainu. So I'm very much looking forward to his return. I do not believe it'll be this weekend, in my opinion. However, I believe he's very close and we could see him starting in the EFL Cup. But there's a slight chance. You just never know. This is just my own judgment, personally. So yeah, just put the lineup back on. That's how I think Man United are going to set up. This is how I think Burnley will set up. You guys tell me in the comment section how you believe this game will go. Like I said, I predict a 2-0 win for Man United, and this is the game that we will take momentum from. This will kickstart our season. It's almost as if, like I was saying, there's just been so much miasma, such a bad aura around Manchester United for so long, and it's translated onto the pitch. Outside of even the actual football on the pitch, the amount of decisions we've been getting against us that you would deem is unlucky. At the end of the day, bad luck, whether you believe in luck or not, it tends to spread out throughout the season. Some calls from VAR, the referee, you'll get, some you won't. But it's just the fact that with all that's happened during the summer, the football on the pitch, and also the bad results, which normally spread out through the bad calls from the ref or the controversial calls, have all been concentrated in one area of the season. It's just such, we're just living in this bubble at the moment as United fans of just negativity. And I think we're soon about to step out of that bubble and man are about to breathe life. I think United are about to catch life. I already said it in my match reaction yesterday that Man United will have a great second half of the season. You can click this up. I'm putting it out there. Yeah? So we have a run of fixtures now that are a lot easier, winnable games, and you combine that with the return of numerous key players into the starting lineup. I think that all these pieces are falling into place for Man United to now soon go on a run of winning fixtures and really start to show these detractors of Ten Hag why they are wrong about the manager and why you need to learn to be patient and start analysing football with this, not entirely with this. That's been my match preview. Like I said, comment down below how you guys feel the Burnley game will go. Also, make sure you don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm always here to read your comments. I'll always reply to every single comment. So feel free, know that you're being heard. Signing out, people.